Well, I teach in the foundation stage, so I have a system where I have a two-entry regime. So I have children coming in September and children coming in January. And what I've noticed right from the beginning was that the programme works in a very incremental way. So from starting from the very simple idea of words being made up of sounds and sounds being represented by letters, we move very quickly onto the notion that sounds can also be represented by two letters. And I've found that the transition from the first idea, a very simple idea, to the more complex idea has been almost seamless in a way that I didn't notice before, because although at the beginning, when I would be introducing single sounds, things haven't really changed very much. The consolidation of the children's understanding and the depth of the children's understanding, because of the way I'm now teaching it, has meant that they can move on far more quickly, irrelevant of the baseline from where they start.
It makes so much sense, and I feel as a teacher that I'm really confident in the English language now, and that I can really break down words, every word, there's no exceptions. And I think that passes on to the children, that it's very simple and extremely straightforward. And now, what I was doing before as a Year 1 teacher, I was thinking about the one representation of maybe the E sound, and then a few weeks later saying, oh, this is a different way. And it makes so much more sense to me and to the children to say, these are all different representations of E, let's sort them, let's talk about it. And there's a lot more conversation about language in the classroom now, rather than me sort of saying how it is and then just appreciating it. The children are saying, well, what about this word, and what about these letters in my name, how do they fit into it? So there's definitely much more of a buzz about language in the classroom, and it goes into all different areas of the curriculum as well, and whilst we're talking and we're noticing things all the time.
One of the really important things I've noticed about Oxford Sound Reading is the effect and the impact it's having on the children's approach to their reading, because they approach a reading task, although it shouldn't be a reading activity, with the knowledge and the idea that they're going to be able to do it.
Right.
And for me as a teacher, that's revelationary. I really feel as if I'm teaching them to read. Whereas
that's lovely.
I didn't really have that sense before. I felt that I was introducing them to a few random strategies which they would start to use, and then they would discover that actually they didn't always apply, they couldn't use them in certain situations.
Children.
And then they would be asked to read the word come.
I've found planning much easier since started Oxford Sound Reading. I think what I was doing before was trying to make my lessons all very creative and different every week, so I'd sort of sit for a long time thinking about how we could do this little phonics lesson. Whereas now, because the activities are very similar week on week, you can really focus on the learning and the actual sound that you're doing, and the children know exactly what's expected of them, they know the highlighting strategy, sort of thing, so it really gets down to the learning rather than sort of walking around school looking for different objects and things like that. They're actually breaking down words and sort of getting really to the core of reading and writing.
And the handwriting that's coming back is phenomenal.
It's that link with reading and writing, isn't it? Everything they're reading, they're
they
writing and whispering to their pencil, and that's a really fantastic habit that the children have got into, and really helps their sounding out. And
I would say the improvement in their handwriting is the thing that I've noticed the most.
So you've got handwriting, you've got
cohort
spelling.
with cohort, so comparing, say, the previous year's reception year with this year, to notice they're far further forward with their letter formation.
Right.
I have got a group of children in the class, it's about 6 children that can read very fluently, and I found it's really helped them to, their spellings really come on, and that's probably the biggest difference between this group of children and the last group of Year 1 children, is their spelling is now much more accurate because they've had that experience of the language. And also I think it has brought on their fluency even further, and they're breaking down sort of very complex words, and it's given them lots of confidence. So
That's